What's up? What's up? It's your girl with Michelle with the Raindrop Combos. And
Stacy, what's going on, guys?
what is up, man? We missed y'all last week.
We did.
But
It
we
is
back.
what it is.
We back,
We're
man.
back.
So what's going on? We're talking about what you can't get real from
you
fake.
can't get real from fake. And
Oh,
if you're
period.
living in this world, you understand that with no explanation because everywhere we look, it's a whole lot of fake.
Oh man.
But everybody wants real.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Join us. Stay with us.
Let's jump into this conversation. All right, chick. So what is the deal? Can't get real from fake.
You can't get real from fake. It's so much going on. You know, before we came on, we were talking about the scams that are going on, the climate of scamming.
It seems like it's like very prevalent right now. I know it's
Yes.
always been there, but I don't know. There's a lot of fakeness going on. And I guess with social media too, because I know that they say that a lot. You know, how somebody portrays their life on social media is totally different from what may actually be going on in the background. But I think in essence, it's easy for people to fall for the fake stuff because they want that. It's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy. And that's how social media, you know, is able to create that alternate reality.
Right. That's also leading to depression, suicide, and all that. So
it is.
I'm not saying what's good about any of that.
No, because people are, you know, we talk about the fact that people only post their highlight reels on social media. And I have, you know, spent the last couple of days, I hate to say it, but I had to, you know, kind of do what I needed to do for me. But I spent the last couple of days on Instagram looking at reels, which is something I usually never do.
Right.
But I'm looking at these reels and you get caught up in it, you know? So now I used to wonder, like, how do my kids just sit here for, you know,
hours upon hours
looking at stupid videos?
Right.
I get it now.
Right.
Because it's all of these, you know, people in these families or couples or, you know, whatever.
So, you know,
it looks like
especially
so
if you feel
much
like
fun.
Especially if it's something you feel like you're missing. So it's even easier to be like,
right, like, I wish I could do that. You know,
right.
They're on there and they're doing the little pranks and they're doing the little dances with the whole family. You know,
the TikTok challenges.
You know, the TikTok challenges, right? And so it's easy to think that that's life,
right?
And in reality, it's like that ain't really life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who has time to put into this all freaking day, every freaking day?
Right.
Because it has to be a lot that goes into production. I don't do reels. I don't know, you know, what
they're pre-recorded. So it's not like live.
They're not live. No.
Okay, so they got to be possibly edited.
They have to do it over and over again. And get these little dances right, you know.
So what's the motive?
It's right, but even, you know, even though I know that all of it is not real, as a young person watching this, I don't know if I would be astute enough to understand, like, this is not really real life. Like, they have to put a lot in this.
Right.
And you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Right. Go to their house right now and see if it's all...
I'm just saying, you know?
Right.
And so watching it is like, oh, this is how, you know, and then all of the people saying how much money they make on, you know, making reels and being content creators. And so you start to look and it's like, oh,
I can do that.
Right. So I could just do, you know, they have the voiceovers, the pre-recorded voiceovers a lot. And so it's like, oh, so all I can, you know, I could just go on and record my, you know, facial expressions and all of that, you know, over or under whatever.
Right.
This voiceover, that seems easy. It's not.
Exactly.
And so we talk about the social media, but let's talk about real life. We talked about it before. All the hair, all the makeup, all the eyelashes, all the nails, all of this fake stuff. Who the hell is real?
Exactly. Or it's fake nails, fake hair, fake lashes. Talking about you want a real,
but you want a real man
or a real situation, a real woman, real whatever. But you faking too, you know.
I was looking at something. I don't know, like whoever remembers New York, I Love New York or whatever. She had a guy on there who, you know, had a really big personality.
Yeah.
Chance. And so I guess
I remember Chance.
Yeah, who had the brother. His brother passed. But
the brother passed?
Mm-hmm. Oh. He passed. He passed of cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. So now he has his own creation or iteration of I Love New York, I Love Chance, whatever it's called, on one of the Black networks, Zeus, I believe. Okay. I don't know. Could be wrong. But he was saying that, you know, he got catfish basically. Yeah. And he's like, he went through and he's picking all these girls that look good, you know, look good. And they get in the house and he's like, what the heck?
It wasn't nothing like that.
I'm just saying.
So you're saying what he saw was not actually reality?
No, because filters, because you got the filters, number one. Then you got all the makeup. You got the, you know, hair. You got angles, as Drake says. You know, you got all that.
So you saying that what you might see online might not, or
ain't no might about it.
Right? Because, you know, I actually, even with myself, when I look at pictures that I've taken, you know, with a professional photographer, that doesn't look as good as when I just do my own selfies. I'm sorry, it's just not the same.
Right. But how low does your self-esteem have to be to feel like you're not attractive or you can't, you know, attract someone without all of that?
Because at some point, aren't they going to see like the real you without all of that? I can't walk around like that pretending to be.
So many women do.
I mean, in the bedroom, at what point does the mask come off? Because everybody's wearing a mask.
Well, maybe that's why we don't have no good relationships.
I mean, now you might have hit the nail on the head for real. You might have hit it for real.
Because you're wanting real, but you giving fake.
Right.
How? You can't, that's not an even exchange.
Right. But, you know, it's funny how you said, though, because the thing is, you know, back in the day in college when we were hanging out, partying at the club and stuff, you know, the men that we met, they gave us their highlight reel too. You know, that was before social media was a thing.
Facts.
But when you meet people out in public, they're giving you the best of them, their highlight reel. Yeah, and then as you enter into a deeper relationship with them, then you start to be like, okay, so no,
people lie.
They're gonna lie.
People lie again, like you said, the highlight reels. People lie. People put their best foot forward. So it's not just the image, the imagery that you see online. Yeah. And people do that in real life. I mean, because you could be cute and be about nothing. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and that highlight reel, I think we all have to use a highlight reel for job interviews, for, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but should we? Like, why can't I be who I am? And that's a big thing for me. Why can't you be who you are? Here's the thing. If you're a good person and you are who you are, then you're going to attract that.
And the right opportunities and everything else that comes along with that. It might not be what you think it should be, but no, I get that. Okay.
Because I remember, and I don't know if this is on topic or what, but I remember my mom growing up, you know, she used to always say, if you get a job on your back, just know you're going to have to stay on your back to keep it, you know? And so it's the same concept. Like, whatever you do to get something,
you're going to have to do it to keep
You're going to have to keep doing it to keep. So why not just be who the hell you are?
No, and that's definitely on topic, because I think that, you know, like you said, if whatever you did to catch that man, you have to keep doing that to keep him. But I mean, same thing on both ends. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, I can't imagine walking around all the time with, you know, this long, luxurious weave or, you know, hair, these, you know, beautiful eyelashes, you know what, all this full face of makeup. That's not reality. So how early do you have to get up
to do all of that? Let me tell you, girl, let me tell you something. I'm trying to fix this wig just on her, and this is my real stuff. And it's a blower to just have to even do all of that. And to me, if I can roll out of bed and it's just me and you know, look, sometimes when Michelle wake up, she's going to look crazy, going to have crust in her eyes. I'm not rolling out. Then that's what I'm saying. I'm stunting for us, because I want you to have something good on your arm. Right. But as far as, you know, us and our time and our private time, I don't need the pressure of having to look like that all the time. But I don't know. Do men do that though? Do men really put that type of pressure on women?
Listen,
or are women putting that pressure on themselves?
I think it goes both ways. I don't know if men do that so much, but they're definitely attracted to it.
Obviously, if that's what brought them to you in the first place. So
they're definitely attracted. But let's look at the dangerous side of that though. Because I was reading an article about a young lady, and I believe this all happened in Georgia, Fort Hood, I want to say. Yeah.
That story.
Where the guy, he was something in the military, and he killed her.
I remember was his that.
Mistress.
Right.
She had no idea he was married. None of that, had kids. None of that. She had 5 kids and was pregnant with the 6th, which I believe was his, if I'm not mistaken.
Or he thought it was?
Right.
Okay.
And so you done pretended to be a whole nother person to get this woman. And then when the crap hit the fan, and she gets pregnant, and now you want to protect your family, then you kill her, which she was pregnant. So it ultimately, led to the demise of her unborn child too.
Can't be out here playing these type of games.
I'm just like,
these games are getting dangerous.
They're getting extremely dangerous.
You don't know who you're dealing with and what kind of how fragile their psyche is.
Let's talk about it.
You don't know who. People are very fragile.
Yes.
And I think with the pandemic and all of the lockdown and people really kind of, went into a shell, and it was the online, the internet, and what's the OnlyFans? I'm talking about, they saying OnlyFans website blew up.
Yeah.
Well, where everything was this virtual, sex shows and virtual meetups and everything, but you don't know who you're really, everybody's showing you their best face.
Right. But behind closed doors, you don't know who these people are. Was watching one of my favorite shows just came back on. Shout out to Ready to Love, because I love that show. Nephew Tommy did the darn thing with that show. But I was watching yesterday. They did kind of a pre-show to when it premieres next week. And one of the young ladies, they're in DC, they're in the DMV this time.
Okay.
And one of the young ladies, beautiful young lady, I guess, beautiful, I don't know, according to my standards, I guess, but I guess she would be universally, beautiful, but had her stuff going on, boss chick, got her own business or whatever she does. She was saying that she had been with this man for, I don't know how long, let's say 6 months, a year or whatever. Ended up getting pregnant with his child. After she gets pregnant, that's when she finds out that he got a whole wife and kids.
How long was she with this dude to?
I want to say like 6 months.
There were no signs. There was nothing.
That's a whole
another story. I know, but I'm just
Oprah. But what I'm saying, people are so caught up into pretending.
Yeah, and it's such a common psychosis. That's the thing that's scary, is that, because I think about, my children, and everything that they're learning is the online environment and the this and the that, and
where you can make up a whole personality
and be something
lifestyle.
Totally different. So I'm like, are they going to meet anybody real? What's going to be real for them out there? It's already hard enough when we were out there on the dating scene, finding a man. I've been in that situation where I've dated and found out they had a girlfriend, dated, found out they were married. It was as simple as taking the ring off, going on a few dates, not ever really knowing, and when you're early in the relationship, it's easy to hide those things.
Absolutely.
You're not going to their house. You're not,
but
checking their phone.
Now it's a little bit easier to find out with Google, and like you can kind of find out a little bit more.
I don't have time for all that kind of stuff. What I'm saying? If that's the case, then I just don't even want to be on the scene, because it's just like
that too.
I don't have time for that. Because the thing is, it's disappointing when you already put that kind of time into even just getting to know somebody. It's like you lying even in a friendship. The thing is, why can't we just be friends? Even if you're got another situation going on.
Situationship.
Exactly. Why can't we just be friends and see what comes of it?
Because women don't want to do that no more.
And do the men either? They want it just as quick and easy as
they want it. They
They want it, but the women want the relationship. Exactly. So everybody going in with expectations,
with different expectations and different agendas. So the woman meets the man, and he's like, "How can I get what I want?" And she's like, "How can I get what I want?" You know what I mean?
I'm gonna look fine and sexy and all this, and I'm gonna
put on from a city.
You're right, and I'm gonna take you out to dinner. The man is gonna do all the things that he thinks the type of man. Everybody playing games. I mean,
listen, it's a whole situation out here with the games. Cash App was the worst thing they could have invented. I'm just
because I see plenty of them talking about, hey, hit that Cash App.
Cash App for what?
I done saw somebody post talking about he got to hit that Cash App before we even hit the date. Right. I'm like, show me what kind of coins you working with.
What the hell have we gotten into the world?
It puts a lot of pressure on real people. That makes the whole dating.
No, it doesn't put pressure. It's not pressure. It makes real people say, man, finger up to this crap.
Right. I don't want nothing to do with it.
This don't even make sense. I got to not only worry about I got to worry about being, picture perfect 24 hours, 365 days a year. But I also got to worry about, do you have a whole family at home? Not only that, but are you a serial killer? Like, you know what I mean?
What's your medical history?
What's your medical history? What's your mental? It's just, you can't take anything at face value anymore. And that's my problem.
And that's sad.
It's extremely sad.
Because we are living in a very strange society when even dating has become that complicated.
Yes.
That's a problem.
It's a huge problem. And again, like you said earlier, we have kids.
So what in the world? If we're already like cringy about it, I can only imagine what and you wonder why they into all this alternative and you know what I'm saying, lifestyles and things like that. For them, I don't see my kids even at the point that they are right now. I don't see them even talking about the value of family, children,
right?
In the
traditional sense.
That's not anything that it sounds like they're really interested in.
No, they're interested in their coins
and doing their own thing and being individuals online and social media, and all of that stuff.
But then we've talked about how that can be such a detriment to the Black community,
right?
Because it's a detriment to the Black family.
Exactly, and we can't afford to have anything else attack our family unit.
We have poverty, we had drugs, like we have all these different social ills that we're already facing.
And to add, and the thing is with Black people being top consumers of social media,
we have the highest buying power.
Exactly.
Right.
So we are going to be a lot more easily influenced by everything that you're seeing online. So it is going to create some issues in
and then look at what
our seeds.
Look at what they're seeing. They're seeing their faves, the celebrities, the rappers, the singers or whatever, going through their own bull crap.
So they're thinking that
that's normal.
Part of life. Right. To them, that is normal.
It's normal.
Right.
For me to be, having to share my man with, his 5 other baby mamas.
Right.
What?
And I don't even remember
or to be going to prison or jail for that.
When I was growing up, I don't really remember a lot of that. I know that there were, Al B. Sure. Oh, baby, Al B. Sure. A lot of different celebrities that I love the music.
But we didn't have access to them.
Right. Exactly. And we didn't know what their social life was like.
No.
And I mean, even if you read Word Up magazine, they weren't
about all that.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't spilling that kind of tea
in
there.
Right.
Not to say it wasn't going on. Not to say that it wasn't going on.
But it may have been. It was. We know that it was now.
But I don't know to what extent, though, because now it seems like they are jumping from relationship to relationship to baby to baby. So what? Is it the influence that we now have more exposure to it?
I think so. I think we have more access and exposure, and with social media gives us more of, like I said, that access to them, and they're spilling the beans on their own lives.
And sometimes in an effort to be more popular, in a sense, it seems like they like the drama because it gets them on the front page, the front cover of the blog. It gets them trending on Twitter and all of that.
Right. I mean, let's look at, sorry for all you who love Nicki Minaj. I'm not a, fan nor a hater.
Right.
But all these young girls love Nicki Minaj. And No doubt. I mean, I guess she's a cool girl. I don't know. But the fact that she chose out of all the men in the world, all of the, Black businessmen or whatever that she comes in contact with, the record execs,
I'm sure there's been
all of that.
plenty nice, professional, stable.
She chooses a convicted pedophile. Really?
Thank you. To what end?
Really? That's what the barbs see. You know what I mean? That's what our kids see. Oh, it's okay. So
not to mention other cultures. Let's not mention other cultures. Look at what they are looking at, the same celebrities that we're seeing.
They are.
So they're like, oh, that's what Black women like. Oh, okay.
I told you I ran into the African guy that Black women just like thugs, and who told you that? Who,
so that's what you said.
Who said that?
Right. But that's what you're seeing out there. So every Black woman,
and then let's bring it even closer. So we're looking at Diddy, old ass. Mm-hmm. Yes, I said it.
Thank you.
Diddy's old behind.
He got to be hitting what? Almost
50 something, not 50,
exactly
50 something,
right?
And you going between, who is it? Is it Young Miami? I think it's Young Miami and Jada. I don't know her last name. Chavis, I think, which is Bow Wow's baby's mom.
Y'all just,
it's pathetic. It's disgusting. Number one, these girls are young enough to be your goddamn kids.
Thank you.
Daughters. They're young enough because they're probably the same age as Justin. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you are now you're pitting these two women against each other.
Y'all don't have nothing else better to do. You think our community ain't in a shambles enough to where this is going to help us? We're not getting anywhere.
No, we're not. We're not. And here's the thing: we're tearing it down from the inside.
Yeah, and we're just looking worse and looking like more trash and more trash. I get really disgusted sometimes when I think about us, how we look, the future. It's very disturbing.
And the thing is, it's a lot of it that we're seeing with in celebrity dumb. Mm-hmm. It's false. Like, it's being put out there in order to garner more of that follows, likes, so you don't care what you do to the community. You don't care what you put out there as long as it's benefiting you and making you more money. Doesn't matter about the generations that you are destroying.
Those that haven't even been born. Those that haven't even been born.
Oh, are you kidding me? So
why we gotta be the clowns and the minstrel show and the gestures for every other? Why we gotta be on camera?
The sellout.
Yeah. Why we gotta be the ones that's clowning and everybody else is entertainment? When what's for synonymous, money? Right? What's synonymous with the Black race right now? Please, what's synonymous with us? Except for, crying about hashtags because one of ours have been slain, killed.
Right.
We're hashtags. We're
right. But then we're not even talking about, there was that big thing, and I can't, is it Gabby? I can't think of her last name, Petito or
the white girl that went missing and killed.
Right. Yeah. And you know how it caused this huge uproar about, okay, we're doing all of this. And yes, the media should have covered that. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that the media should not have covered it, but it caused a huge uproar because they were saying, well, we're doing all of this coverage for this, Caucasian young lady, but where's the coverage for all of the Black?
Because there was a Black girl that was missing right around the same time.
Exactly.
And they were saying that maybe if the same coverage had been devoted, then they probably would have found her, before whatever happened to her happened to her.
And it happens. This is a regular thing. Even when you start talking about the missing Black kids, I was reading an article about and I forgot, I don't remember the details, but there were like, I don't know, hundreds of Black kids that went missing in Chicago around the same time. Where's the stories about that?
Well,
because that's huge.
To me, that is huge. We all got family everywhere. I got family in Chicago. I've got, we hear about the girl down the street. I'm in a Facebook group for my community. And every now and again they'll post, oh, this girl went missing, not, on her own and stuff like that. But these things never make even local news. You know what I mean?
Not mainstream.
Right. So these stories don't even make local news. This is the sheriff department posting a press release about, these 16 and 17-year-old girls that supposedly left on their own. But
the entire world stopped to acknowledge the fact that, again, Nicki Minaj said something about some daggone vaccines.
That's what we're thank you. That's what you get national coverage for, but not for the black girl that's missing and presumed.
Listening to Nicki Minaj about their medical
anyway,
right?
I mean, isn't she free to have her opinion? But no, somehow there was some kind of agenda, behind that. But there's no agenda behind the missing black girl. That who knows what happened. And I'm telling you, this stuff happens more often. It's so many black women that go missing and are victims of violent crimes on a daily basis.
All the time.
We need the movement for that.
On all of this fake bull crap.
Yeah.
All of this, just nonsensical stuff. And our kids are focused on it. Our kids are all into, we talked about how our kids are into these stupid behind TikTok,
and everything, like, the challenges. Because I'm telling you what, everybody know, if you've been checking it out and you know anything about this vandalism TikTok challenge that's been going on, our kids know about all of that kind of stuff.
Heck yeah, slap a teacher
and all that stuff, right? Yeah, the new challenge was, slap a teacher and see what happens.
And they were actually taking sinks out of the bathroom.
They vandalized schools and everything. But the thing is, where is... I can't. You know what I'm saying? I get really pissed off when I start thinking about, where our focus is and, the things that we get behind or the things that we make popular on social media while other things are just kind of swept under the rug. And, because I'm telling you, just over the last couple of weeks, I've heard about, a girl, up in North Georgia that was killed only because somebody else tagged it on Facebook and was like, I can't believe you're gone. And as I researched, I'm like, man, she was stabbed to death by her boyfriend. And I'm like, are y'all serious? This stuff is happening, literally violent crime. So y'all want to talk about Black Lives Matter, but if they really matter, then which Black Lives Matter?
Because I'm thinking all Black Lives matter,
but
not the ones that are killed by
that's what I'm saying. It's only the ones that are killed by white people.
I'm just saying.
All right, let's just put it out there. And then, when you start talking about, we don't talk about black on black crime, there's a lot of reasons for black crime. No, we're not about to get into all of that.
No,
I'm just saying
all lives. Black on black crime, it's about crime.
Yeah. People got real, when all that stuff got really cranked up with the Black Lives Matter and the police officers killing black people. And then so when you would go on social media and say, but what about the black people that kill black people? Girl, I'm talking about it erupted. Nobody wanted to talk about that. That's what I'm saying.
It's true.
Right.
You mean to tell me that with all of this, all of these influencers,
right,
that we have that can influence an entire generation of kids to think it's okay to go slap a teacher.
Right.
You mean to tell me we couldn't gather all that influence and go up to Chicago and get them gangs?
That's what I'm saying. And the way that because the murder rate up there had got to an astronomical rate.
It's been like that in Atlanta.
That's what I'm saying. Even while all of the whole cop killing, let me tell you, let's just be straight up and let's keep it 100. The number of white cops that have killed black people is far lower than the number of black people that have committed crimes against other black people. I mean, let's just keep it 100. So like I said, this is something that's an in-house thing that we got to work on. We're not asking nobody to give us funding to help us fit. This is a moral issue. This is, everybody trying to be something they're not. Getting back to the, you can't, fakeness.
Yes.
You're hating on people because they have what you don't have or what you want. Or
let's talk about the Texas shooter. The little boy in Texas that went and committed that mass shooting at the school. What was that, last week, a couple of weeks ago?
And God forgive me, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Girl!
That's why I don't watch the news because I can't handle it.
Yeah, I catch
it. But
it.
Please tell me what happened.
And I don't know all of the particulars. I know that there was a school killing.
Okay.
There was a black
that did a mass shooting.
And I don't know how many people died and all that. But what he's saying is that he was being bullied because of the nice things that he has. And so that bullying that he endured then made him go and commit those killings. So let me get this straight. So you're bullied if you don't have,
and
you're bullied if you do.
So you can't win for losing.
Make it make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense.
So, I mean, do you think that he really was suffering from some kind of psychosis?
I don't know. I really would have to read more about it.
Right.
Because,
to find out for sure.
It's so much going on that I try to protect my,
your
energy,
spirit, because I can't, right.
And I try not to, I'll see it but there are just certain things I can't. After last summer, after the whole George Floyd killing, like that did a number on a lot of people.
Yeah,
it definitely did a number on my psyche, because you're watching this, 24 hours a day sometimes.
Through your feed,
right? You're seeing it, and it's all of the emotions, and the anger, just all of that.
Yeah.
And so I've tended to, after that whole era, step back.
Yeah.
From having to know every last thing that happened.
Because what does it do for you to know it? What it does is just amplify the fact that we have some huge problems.
We have some
not only in society, but in our community,
in our local community.
Right.
And it's just, it can be too much. Yeah. It can be overwhelming. And so, no, I have not, I've read little snippets here and there, but, and his family is actually, from what I read, his family are the ones coming out saying that it's because he was being bullied and the school system did not do anything to protect him, which in turn caused him to go out and do that.
That is what it is. Because the thing is, traditionally, we would say that that's not something that we do. We don't mass shootings and stuff. And not since, what was your people up there in DC? What was the
snipers?
The snipers. That was the craziest thing. Because, everybody would assume that they were white before they knew who it actually was.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So it seems like, you'd be like, no, that's not, we don't do that. But I have heard about, little black boys committing suicide from bullying and things like that. The bottom line is, it doesn't, please, it doesn't matter what the motive was, that it's the action that's being taken and what inspired it, and the fact that people are being pushed beyond their limits, and they're younger and they're getting younger, being pushed to do crazy things. Like I say, it might not be a mass shooting, but if your child is acting out, if they're, my son is not the same as a lot of the kids he goes to school with. He's a nerd. He's a, computer geek, and he gets made fun of for a lot of that stuff. So I would be shocked on my end to be like, oh, J-Dub just went and just nutted up at school. But honestly, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know what the impact is.
Right.
We don't know.
We gotta keep talking to him.
All of this stuff, all
the fakeness and the trying to be something that you're not. It's like,
everybody wants to be something.
So what is the perfect image? What is that everybody's getting made fun of for not being?
Or for having too much?
Right. You can't win for losing in this type of society that's so materialistic.
Because we move so far away from what our core values are.
That's the problem.
And that's not just as a Black community. Yes, we have some core values of the Black community, but just as humans.
In general.
In general, we're
so detached, man.
So detached from what life is really supposed to be about.
Right.
Everyone wants more. Everyone wants to have what everybody else got. I saw, I believe it was a meme or a something post from, I want to say it was Earthquake, or maybe it was Greg Street. And it was like, why is it that everybody is like fighting to buy the same crap? Everybody's fighting to get the same. I'm confused. Like, why are we all competing for the same thing?
Now, if you're an adult, I am really confused about that. Now I remember when I was in high school, I think the last thing I actually was like, oh, I gotta have it because everybody else had. I think it was when folks started wearing cross colors. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody in school had on cross colors. When I got my first pair of cross colored jeans, I was like, "Ooh, cool," you know. I mean, but it wasn't even really all of that.
No, we didn't.
So somehow,
No, we didn't.
and I thankfully, like I said, after that, when I could afford to buy nice things for myself, I bought them for me, not for what it made me look like or what kind of status symbol it was. And I'm just very sad for any adult.
But our parents kept us grounded. I remember my dad lived in New York. I lived in Atlanta. He came down and, he would come down every so often. I went home every summer, but he would come home. And I remember my first pair of name brand shoes because up until then,
what was it? Skippy.
Until then, it was Pro Wings from Payless. My mom was like, "Oh, you got those dirty? We can go get another pair next week."
What?
So it was a Pro Wing thing. You know what I mean? I had tons of Pro Wings, but I was like, I gotta have these golf Nikes. Gotta have these golf Nikes.
Yeah, everybody was. I remember that.
Love the golf Nikes.
I remember that.
I think I was like 8th grade or something. Yeah. So my dad comes down from New York, and this is my first time in Foot Locker because I'm used to Payless.
Right.
We go in Foot Locker, and I'm all excited, and I'm asking the Foot Locker person, "Yeah, I need, a pair of golf Nikes in the size whatever." Yeah. So they bring the Nikes out, and my dad was so into, apartheid and what was going on in Africa and where things were being made. And, like, we're not supporting this and we're not supporting that. So I need to know who manufactures it. They bring the shoes out. And so my dad looks at them. He's like, he asked the store clerk, "So now, are these Nikes made in Africa under apartheid?" Oh my God. I was like,
in the store. Oh my gosh. And what did the person?
They didn't know because they were probably like 17, they didn't know.
Right.
But I say that to say that they were more grounded
and conscious about.
Yeah. Like it wasn't about, having to buy you the name brand, everything. And they understood just the background and stuff. They understood the struggle, the background struggle, so they didn't care that everybody was wearing these golf Dickies. Right. It was like, no, this is not important. This is what's important. Right. Yeah, I get that you want the shoes, but I need you to understand what goes into making these shoes, and that part of your history is important as well. And we don't have that anymore. Like, these parents are out just Balenciaga. What the heck?
Baby, you know what?
Why is a 10th grader wearing $500 Balenciaga shoes?
When you say that, it just reminds me of the movie Blood Diamonds. And so, that was about the diamonds that were coming out of the African mines. I know there was a controversy recently with Beyonce. But the thing is, it goes larger than that. We're talking about them taking a natural resource, it's taking just something that's just a regular thing, and using the propaganda and the advertisement, because they were talking about when they paid Jay-Z in a concert to say the word Tom Ford. Now everybody is Tom Ford. My glasses, is it that, my cologne. Is it that easy to is it that easy to, I'm gonna say, misguide an entire population of people? Well, if you're already insecure and you already don't feel good about yourself, then yeah, if Jay-Z says Tom Ford is going to make you a better person, make you look better, make you a person of respect, so you got to feel real bad about yourself to think that materialistic things are going to make you better. Then we got a bigger problem than anything else that's going on in the world.
That's why people,
it's a self-esteem
are
thing.
In debt, trying to live up to the, keep up with the Joneses. That's why, you got celebrities who got these $20-30 million homes, and can't afford them, and then you see them getting evicted and all. Well, why you need a $20-30 million home? Your cash flow may not last that long.
Exactly. Because you're not even thinking about the fact that, hey, you know what? You might not get the next gig. Maybe the next album flops. Maybe the next film flops. And so now you've got,
maybe you have a controversy like the baby.
Right. So now you got property taxes that are still accumulating. You still got car notes and insurance. Those things are recurring. I don't care if you bought it with cash. You can tell me I bought a $4 million house, and I'm going to ask you, how much income do you have coming on an annual basis? Because the thing is,
you got to pay those taxes.
And you got to maintain that property. Your light bill going to be way higher than my light bill.
I'm period. Just saying. But it's not about what's real. It's about what image you portray.
I don't have time for that. I can't. It's exhausting and it's tiring. I did that when I was a kid. It was hard trying to keep up with all the kids at school because we didn't have a lot. So when I did try to keep up with them, I was putting my parents under a lot of pressure. My mom, once I started actually working and I had a job in high school, I was still putting myself under pressure. Right. But you know what? Unfortunately, things started to make more sense by the time I got into high school. And I was like, guess what? Oh, I can be an individual. And so I don't have to be like, but I was under a lot of pressure in elementary and middle school. Everybody's wearing starter coats. Everybody's wearing I never had one either. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's wearing Dope Man Nikes. They had a pair for every, the Dope Man Nikes was big when I was in middle school. So they had the red, the black, the yellow, the green. And I mean, everybody.
Damn,
luckily, it make you look at yourself and your family like, well, why we ain't got this and why I can't.
Yeah.
You put a lot of pressure on the people that love you, that are really trying to set you up for the future. Yeah. And you're so stuck on the present. And it's sad because it's fake. Everything you're saying is temporary. Fake is temporary. The lashes don't last. The wig don't last. The new growth gonna come in.
But what about your spirit? Like, I'm just like, we are so focused on presenting an outer image that makes us look like we have it all together. We have, money in the bank. We have, the cars we have. Ain't nobody worried about what's inside. I got a problem with that.
That's dangerous.
Because the insides, I'm looking at some of these people, I'm like, ooh, I can feel your negative energy through the screen. From me. You know what I mean? Get away from me. Or through, the phone or whatever. Right. I can feel it. Yeah. And your actions are showing me that you're freaking miserable.
Right.
Yes, you look wonderful. Yes, you got the beat face. Yes, you got the, Balenciagas, the Gucci's or whatever. But your spirit is empty. Giving me it's dead. Nobody is concerned. I'm not going to say nobody.
Right.
But the majority of people have totally dismissed their internal being.
Right.
And their soul. They have literally sold their soul for an image. I got a problem with that. And that's why you can't take anybody at face value.
Mm-hmm. And nobody trusts anybody.
How?
Right. Especially if you're fake, then you're definitely going to be untrusted.
Saying.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, the people that I can really trust, I can probably count on one hand.
One hand without using our fingers.
And that's family included.
One hand without using our fingers.
That's family included.
It is.
I can't expose, what I'm going through to everybody in my life because
wanting to see
right, and they want to judge you based on the fact that you might have some weaknesses and you may have some areas where you're struggling.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, just out, and we were talking about, education or, my degree or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm sociology, psychology, major, minor. So you're assessing me, analyzing me? Absolutely not. I'm not at all. Like, that's not what I'm doing. I don't do that unless you give me a reason.
But the fact that you're even...
Well, I mean,
what was that?
I think people assume that that's what you are
because you are considered an expert,
right? But it's like,
but they're fearful because the thing is, who wants to be told?
Who wants to be psychoanalyzed?
Exactly, because if somebody was to analyze me, they wouldn't be wrong. I'm sure whatever they told me, they'd be like reading me. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know. I think it's a little bit harder to do that with real people.
What, to read them?
Right, because what you read
because you already showed you. Well, no, there's no sociopaths. It's the sociopaths that are hiding and pretending. Those are the ones that are fearful. Right.
There's no need to.
Oh, yeah, cool. I feel you.
It's so much fakeness that you feel like you got, like, do we really have to go? Yeah, maybe we do have to go around psychoanalyzing people, because
if you don't,
especially when your actions don't match up with your words.
Okay. But like we've discussed on our earlier podcast with those women that have gotten to those relationships that didn't see, saw the red flags, but they were so much more concerned about what ending a relationship would look like to their family than actually staying in something that detrimental that ended up leading to them, their death.
Right.
That's when we got a problem, when we can't even leave something that's toxic and unhealthy because of how we want to keep portraying.
Right.
That's fakeness. Right. Oh, no, we're happy. No, I'm on social media saying we're happy.
Yeah, we're getting in our Bentley. We're going on travel trips.
Bay made, look what Bay made me for breakfast today.
Right.
But when the camera's off, y'all fighting like cats and dogs.
Listen,
I'm scared.
Both sides are fake. I mean, it's not a man woman.
Right. No, it goes both ways.
On both sides.
It goes both ways.
I was reading a meme that was like, everybody, like, if you real in this generation, just don't even try to date, because everybody lying, everybody cheaters. Like, just like
that's gonna make it very difficult for. God. So, is there any procreation that's going to be going on? Do we have is there going to be a future generation?
Well, I mean, Nick Cannon is helping out with that.
Yeah. He's populating California just by itself. Right? But I mean, what? But
that's
these are
creation. Now, ain't nobody said they ain't having sex because
right. So, but these kids that are coming and just seeing so much, and I've got so many mommies and daddies here and there, and a lot of the knock on him was the fact that, okay, cool, yeah, dude, you can do what you want, but how are you gonna really nurture that many kids?
Girl, I just read where he's talking about Mariah Carey is mad at him now because they had agreed that the kids wouldn't have cell phones. She didn't want the kids to have cell phones. He said initially they agreed to 10.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to get it at 8. She's like, no. Then when they turn 10, she's like, no, because I don't want them to be, to have all of this, stuff coming at them.
Right.
All of this negativity with social media. Like, I don't want them going out there and reading about us.
And all of that.
She's like, I don't want that. This dude, this goes to his parenting and what you just said. Their 10th birthday. He goes to the birthday party. They throw them this big elaborate birthday party. He brings all these gifts. Knowing he went out and got them a cell phone. Before they started opening presents, he tells the kids, tell your mama I'll be back. So when they open the cell phones, he ain't there.
Come on, dude. Really?
You the one populating the earth?
That's what.
With that kind of mentality?
Even though she's explicitly said, and you're not there, right? And you're not there under the roof with them. So wouldn't she have more authority and say over?
But these are the people that I'm just.
You better know who you're getting with out here.
That's a whole.
It is. I mean, really, and we're gonna hit that one Sunday. You better know who you getting with and who you laying with out here.
And when I say no, I get you a friend in the police department, the FBI, the GBI, whoever.
Credit reports. We're talking about all nowadays. You gotta know all of that.
Know who their grandmama is, their great grandmama, their great great grandmama. Hell, if we can get back to the tribe in Africa,
I mean, that's just how far you want to go.
You have to, because so many people have gotten so good at pretending, and again, social media, has given them an outlet,
right, to be able to do that. And some of us just want to believe. For those of us that want to believe, we're easily taken in by those that are great at pretending.
Yeah, but when you're a good person, you want to believe that everybody else is
that's right. And then you find out that they're not, and so hopefully you're stable enough to say, okay, bad choice. But I've seen some bad situations where girls have been hurt and completely my college roommate, I mean, she was in a relationship and she got she stayed depressed almost like it was our freshman year, got with a dude, some things happened, I won't go into all of that. But after everything happened with her and him the first semester, the second semester, she was a totally different person, girl. She was depressed. She walked around with hoodies on. She didn't want to go anywhere. And she was a really good person. She was a Jamaican girl, lived in New York, came to Hampton University thinking, oh, this is going to be a great experience. Yeah. And one dude ruined that whole thing for her.
Yeah.
Ruined the whole thing for her.
I mean, look at one girl that I followed for at least 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Hampton or either Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, came from a great family. Her name is Kemba Smith. Came from a great family,
Mm-hmm.
I think out of the DC area, maybe. Went to school, got involved with this local, if you ever been to a college town, the difference between the college kids and the locals.
They love it when we come to town.
Right. Yeah. And so she got one of this local. He was a drug dealer. However it happened, she ended up going to prison.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he went to prison.
But she, just for being
for being associated with him, she ended up having her child in prison. And I don't know how long she stayed, but it wasn't like, 6 months or nothing like that. It was some years that she stayed, and then she was pardoned. I want to say by Clinton, Bush, one of them. She was pardoned by one of them. But she does tours now. If you want to
I know who you're talking about, that girl. Yeah. Oh, she went through hell.
Beautiful
oh, my gosh.
young Black woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, she went through a lot just because she got caught with
somebody fake. Because the thing is, if you get in those relationships and they're telling you it's going to be glitz and glamour, they're treating you, they're taking you to the best places, they're spending money,
bad clothes,
but you're not seeing the other side of that lifestyle,
right?
Whatever it may be, it might not always be a drug dealer. It just might be some dude that is married, and
but think about how crazy these broads are too now.
Oh, right.
I mean,
talking about what, the ones they be cheating with,
the ones they be cheating on. Because
now the wives and the girlfriends. Oh yeah.
Because I watch Fatal Attraction and how some of them will come and cut your throat faster than he will.
Remember Steve Smith, the football player. Remember his mistress shot and killed him. Had an apartment for her right around the corner from his home. And when the news hit, it was like Steve Smith found dead in an apartment, and she killed herself too.
Right.
Y'all gotta stop messing around.
Ray Caruth. How he did his baby mama. Listen, stop thinking that these people that are, in this certain lifestyle are portraying themselves to be this certain type of person and can do this and that. You better count on yourself.
Can't get real from fake. And that's just the bottom line.
Real from
because fake is what fake is. And I don't know that
fake doesn't have a conscience.
It doesn't. Because you got to kind of cross a line to where you say, I don't care. I'm going to portray. I'm going to be what they think I should be.
That's a mental illness.
I think that is a mental
capacity.
Yeah. I think you can be sociopathic with that. Well, you can still function and still just be fake. Some people just lie to themselves and they really believe in lies.
What Lauryn Hill say? Everyday people,
they lie to God too. So what makes you think
they won't lie to you?
Thank you. And on that note, sis,
we hope that we have imparted something throughout all of this conversation.
Yes.
But again, you can't get real from fake. Determine what side you're going to be on.
Thank you. And move through your week just knowing that just be you.
Just be you.
Teach your
kids.
You
are enough.
You're unique. Yes. You are uniquely made by God, period. Yes. And so you don't have to be something that you're not.
Right.
Right.
And the people that love you are going to love you. And the people who don't, thank you, God, for your protection.
No, thank you. Right.
Thank you, God, for your protection. But, check out our sponsors.
Rep Your City, GA.com. Yes. Don't forget to visit the website.
We got some new shirts coming, or they got some new shirts coming.
Definitely. And go to raindropcombos.com. You got comments, drop your comments. You're catching the replay, #replay in the comment section. And don't forget, if you got anything you'd like to join the show, or got anything you'd like us to speak about, info@raindropcombos.com. We're looking forward to listening and hearing from you.
Thank you, guys. Instagram and Twitter as well.
And YouTube.
Check
us out, y'all. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Peace.